Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumin and today we're having a look at Palworld, specifically the male character creation system. Now I'm not going to waste my time or your time introducing this game. Instead I'm just going to tell you that it has already sold over 6 million copies worldwide and it has millions of concurrent players daily. And it doesn't seem to be slowing down. Most importantly though, the game's a lot of fun. It is just so much fun. If you would like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover about Palworld, you can find some links below. You can jump in there, check them out, and enjoy. See if the game is perhaps for you. For this video, we're jumping into the male character customization. We're going to have a look at the presets available. We're going to talk a little bit about the visual style that they went for here. We will peek at the body, the face, the hair, the voice stuff, all of it. And then at the end, we'll randomize a little bit and I'll put in a couple of decent male characters that I've made. It's not the easiest thing. And these are characters that I personally made, right? I tried my best, right? So it's stuff that I made for the thumbnail and, you know, some characters that I thought just looked reasonably okay. With that said, let's jump in. Let's have a look at the presets. If you want to see the female video, that's a separate one. I put it on the channel as well. Go have a look. Now, this is the default guy, or I think actually I would say this guy's the default guy, where that's the female default, that's the male default. The presets that they have here and the different options that you have to work with and stuff, they are alright. My criticism about the presets that they have is that they don't really use everything that they have at their disposal here. You know, they could, if they'd like, use some of the body options that are available. I do understand why they didn't, because I do feel like the body options need a little bit of work, so maybe they wanted to put their best foot forward and they didn't want to like overextend where that's concerned. They could also, however, have, in my opinion, used a little more crazy stuff here. They could have had some slightly more alien looking characters with crazy colors and whatever, but that's something that I think they could just add at a later date. It's not something that's going to take a lot of time up or anything like that. And maybe they wanted to let the game and the dust surrounding it settle a little bit before they make stuff like that happen. It's cool. It's cool. But in terms of the presets, they have a decent variety here. You have some slightly more rugged looking characters, some slightly younger looking ones, some middle of the road ones. And overall, yeah, it's an alright representation. It's okay. It's a decent look at what's available. Not fantastic, but it's pretty decent. The style that they went for this game, and I'm going to talk about this on and off while we go through the video, I think is pretty fantastic. It's perfect for this kind of game. Simple, satisfying, clear, and cartoony. It's fun, vibrant, full of life. It's great. I like what you can do with the system. I like how much color there is, and I like how exciting everything looks. Speaking of exciting, let's pick this very normal looking guy and jump into the body customization. So for body types, you can pick the male and female types. You will notice that the body is disconnected from the head. In other words, you customize them separately, individually from one another. Skin color, my favorite part probably of the system. Usually I say hair is my favorite part, but for this, I think skin color is my favorite just because of the fact that they give you full RGB control. You can do any color under the damn rainbow on your skin, and it's sick. For some reason, it just works. Now, first, the preset colors. These are important. These are the colors that you lose. It's like, it's good that they put them here, because these colors are so easy to just accidentally misplace. You know, I've done a lot of character creation videos. Every now and then one of them comes along where they don't have preset colors available. They've just got a slider system like this, and then, oh my god, you accidentally move them around a little bit, and then good luck trying to get back to that human skin tone. It is almost impossible, and no matter what you do, something just looks off. So having these as preset colors, yeah, it's a good thing, okay? Not all of us have photographic memories who can remember exactly where they're supposed to be, so it's nice to have them. Then they have a few different choices here that are a little bit more out there, but only a little bit. You can see that these colors actually look alright on these models. They're decent. But let's jump into custom. Let me show you how it works. You got your color slider here, which gives you basically any color you want. Then the saturation is the intensity of the color, and the brightness is the brightness. Alright, so you can go for a completely black character, like full obsidian. This is actually what I made my main character look like on a female body type. I like it a lot. You can go full white on it, which is this side. Not as light as the dark is, but it's still fine. I would like it if they gave us the option to make it as light, but it's okay. It's okay. And then if you pull the saturation up and the brightness up, then you can just go for any color over here. Now, the translation for some of the colors is 1-to-1, but for others, not so much. As an example, the reds are not quite as red as I suppose, like, but they want it to look decent. They don't want you to, like, break the game and have it look disgusting. And I think that they found a really good point. It's like they're on the tip-in point where if they went any brighter with any of these, it would look horrific. You know, it would look terrible, headache-inducing, you know? So I think that it's kind of nice. You know, the color is just off of being the brightest possible choice. However, again, if you sort of see this and you think, that's nice, but then you can always just, you know, pull the saturation down a little bit, have it be a little less saturated, or pull the brightness down, add a little bit more, you know, shade into it, have it not be quite as much on the eyes. But it's fun. It's just fun. You can make your own thing up here, and if you combine this with the hair and then the eye options, you can make some really cool looking characters that are unique and interesting. And you can make the backstory for your character, the lore for your character. I mentioned on the female video that I did that there are people out there who are making full-on, like, avatars or representations of their own characters in this game, and then they're writing little backstories and making these little plaques or something for them with the characters shot, and then their little story with the lore and which planet they came from and which system and how they grew up and how they, you know, how they found their way to the Papalagos Islands or whatever it's called. And I dig that. I like giving people more options instead of less. I think that's always in the dev's best interest. So the artists and stuff who work on this, they pushed this as far as they could, and they gave you as much as they could, and I'm really a big fan of that. I like it, because giving players more creative control and more freedom is always just great, because the players are always the ones that come up with the good stuff, you know? So let them run free. So I'm a big fan of the way they've done this. I like that you can do all these different colors. He says, while changing back to the boring color. All right, so physique. This is the one part of the character creation system where I really feel they can make massive improvements easily, right? So I think that what they have here is okay. What they have here is decent, but it can be better. Insert the Pedro Pascal meme. Okay, so, like, you know, the torso size on the male characters, you slide it down, it makes you a little skinny. Makes you look a little, you know, malnourished or whatever you want to call it. But it's still okay. It's believable. But when you slide it up, nah, dude. Nah, that's a little too barrel-chested. It looks a little unnatural. So it's the same for the other ones. And let me show you what I mean. The arm size, when you go down, yeah, man. Yeah, okay. But when you go up, yeah. It's like, it's arc levels of ridiculous. And I like that. Just let me put that out there. I like that. I like that they give you the full control, but oh god, that's a big booty. So I dig it. I like that they give you so much control over it, but they can easily make it even better. How? Well, I feel like firstly they could try and make the weight spread a little more naturally. That's something to do with the models that they would have to sort of mold in there. It's not the easiest thing, but I've seen a lot of games like this do it very well. You know, examples could potentially be Dreamlight Valley. And what's the other one I looked at recently? That other sort of farming game that came out, Palia. Yeah, I think that did weight a little bit more naturally. Anyway, I can't remember. Maybe that one didn't even have weight. Regardless, a little more natural with the weight distribution would be cool. That would be nice to see. But I also think that add in maybe a slider for the breasts for female, maybe a butt slider, and then maybe muscularity, so you can have your character slightly more ripped or slightly less so. And then finally also a height slider would be really nice to see. Overall though, I think this is fine. Even though it looks kind of ridiculous when you pull them all to max or when you pull them all to the bottom, it looks a little silly. You can still, if you work with smaller numbers, you can still do some pretty cool stuff here. I firmly believe having the legs up a little bit, having some slightly wider thighs and hips is kind of nice, and also going a little skinnier can work quite well if you want to. However, again, this body stuff here, at the moment, it's a bit of an afterthought, and it's not as impactful as the other stuff. right? That's just my take on it. And I think they could quite easily improve it drastically. Face, our next options. Now, the face stuff, we have female and male faces all together here. I really like what they've done. I think it's amazing. I think that the clarity on the model, I think that the crispness of the lines, all of it just looks great. They've got some really cool expressions here for characters. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that the facial hair is part of different faces. In other words, it would have been nice if we could have had things like the facial hair or the scarring and stuff separate. So we can just put the scar on the character or put the facial hair on the character, on any character. But maybe that's something they'll work towards. Again, this is early access. But we have some decent choices here. And the thing that I'll probably keep saying over and over is that the visual fidelity, the clarity, and all that stuff on the model is just really nice. They've done a great job. They have a decent variety here, although the males get sort of shafted a little bit by having these doubles, where they have the same face, but with hair on, facial hair. It's whatever, you know. Then they have a few faces that could be seen as both male and female. All of these over here, I think, could be seen as both male or female, easily. But, yeah, I mean, overall it looks alright. I do like that they at least have facial hair. Oftentimes these games come out without facial hair, and it's kind of sad. This one seems to have a couple of notches in the eyebrow, and you don't actually see them here, which is weird. Same for this one over here. Wait, no, that one has the notches. But, yeah, nice selection, decent faces. I like it. I don't think the game needs custom sliders and stuff for the face. I think that's unnecessary. I do believe that war paint or tattoos and scars could be kind of nice. But that's something you could add later on. You could add it in-game as well. Add a little tattoo parlor, a beautification station. You could go out and like farm some pals, farm their fluids to make dyes and stuff like that for face paint. I don't know what they would do, okay? Farm pigments or plants or something. It could easily be implemented into the game and it would look quite nice. Now, next up, eyes. Big fan. What I want to show you is how nicely it translates. It's always the one thing that I like to show off. Let's take the bright pink. Oh, actually, this is even better. Take the red. It's like a fiery red. Okay? So you take the fiery red color and you zoom all the way out. You can still see it. A little bit less so on the male, because if you take like the female faces or the faces that have bigger eyes, this is not a female face. This is both male and female. But if you zoom out on that, it's fantastic. So far away and you can clearly see the color in the eyes. It's a mistake that people make quite often when they're making these models and stuff, is that they easily just make it that the eyes are basically invisible when you zoom out and like the color just gets lost in translation somehow. But some decent choices here for the pupils and the eye details and stuff. I like when they add stuff like this, like the weird demonic eyes. I like the symbols and stuff. This has become sort of synonymous with the not so much JRPGs, but the Eastern style RPGs, and I'm glad that a few of these options made their way into this game. I kind of like it. There's the swirlies that you see quite often as well. Kind of nice. Then you got some cat and snake eyes and stuff here. And then you got these ones. These ones are interesting. They can only be white or they can be black. So if you pull the brightness slider down, they can be full black or they can be full white. And they're kind of nice. Yeah, it's cool. I do believe that they'll probably make these any color in the future. But for now, that's the option that you have. The presets for the colors here are decent. There's enough of them. Nice colors, really nice colors. And you'll probably be able to find something you like here. Then you have full RGB. You've got the custom colors that you can work with here. If you pull the saturation and the brightness up to max, then you'll see that the colors, they do show quite nicely. If I zoom in all the way, you can look at it again and see. It's like the color really does translate quite nicely into the eyes. And there's a lot of detail there. Like there's really a lot of cool detail. Probably one of the most impressive parts. It's just when you slowly scroll through here, there's so much change in there, and it's nice. Kind of nice. Look at that. It's beautiful. And again, that's sort of on all the different eyes. It looks nice. There you go. Yeah, so big fan of that. Now, our next option here, eyebrow color. This is actually facial hair color. It's all the facial hair. You can change your beard with this. You can easily sort of match it to your hair color by just looking at the sliders or picking the same preset here. But that is going to change your eyebrows if you have just the eyebrows, or the eyebrows and the beard if you have just, well, if you have both. There you go. Let's take a black color over there for that. And then, well, actually, let's take it off and then move on to the hair. So, next up, hair. The male hair selection is fine. that's all I've got for it. I believe that the hair looks great. They've got some really nice styles here. I think that they've covered most of their bases, but I do think that specifically for the male characters, it would be nice to see some more short styles. You know, simple cowlicks. What would you call it? Just a standard sort of gelled up at the front style. You know, Tintin. It's just not here. It's just nothing like for the short styles. There are a lot of nice unisex styles. You know, there are a lot of styles that would look good on both male and female. But the standard short styles are unfortunately missing. You've got these sort of bedheady styles, but nothing sort of normal. I don't know, short up. You know, there's a few things just missing here. I'm sorry, I'm not a hairdresser. I don't know the styles. My hairdresser would call it a classic cut. Okay, and this is the closest thing you get to it. This one right here. But this one's very long. This is more of like a modern style that they do, where you have short sides, long top. I mean just short all over, but not shaved all over. That's my only criticism here. I'm sorry, I didn't really convey it very eloquently, but I'm not really a hair guy. Not in real life, at least. I like looking at hair in this, but yeah. So if you take one of these other faces that's slightly more masculine, and we switch the color to match, then you'll see that some of the styles here look pretty fantastic. They look really good, and you can make a really good masculine-looking character, like that, for example. But again, I do think a few short styles would be nice. I also like the texture work that they've done with these. I really, really appreciate the fact that they have some styles that have more strands visible with more detail on them. Then they have a few styles that are more simplistic, very straightforward, that just look good close up and from a distance. A good example of the two different types that they have is this one with the individual strands visible, and then this one that's slightly smoother. It's kind of nice. Similar styles overall, but different ways of executing it. Overall, I think it's okay, but I do think a little bit more short variety would be good, as I very inadequately stated. Now, colors. Full RGB once again. You have a few decent presets here, and the color conversion is awesome. It's awesome. It's fantastic. When you go into full RGB and you pull the saturation up and brightness up, you get like the brightest possible colors. You get everything. They all translate beautifully. It looks great. Really, really nice. Really great set of options available here. And yeah, man, you'll definitely be able to find something good. And I think that, again, I've mentioned this a few times, but the combination of the body colors and this, along with those eyes that really pop, is just awesome for making stuff that you want to make. You know, you have so much available here and you can do anything with it. And if you say, for instance, want this red, but it looks a little much when it's like that, you just pull the saturation down a little bit. Or if you want it just to be a little more shaded, you can also just pull the brightness down, and that can change the look a little bit, make it look perhaps a little more quote unquote natural. But yeah, decent options here. And I do feel like you'll find something that you like, something that works for you. It's good. It's good. Next up, and our final option, the voices. Let's give them a listen. You have 3 female and 3 male, or 3 feminine and 3 masculine.
Ha! Huh? Ooh! Huh! Ha! Huh? Ooh! Huh? Yeah! Ha! Huh? Yeah! Huh? Yeah! Ha!
Yeah!
Wow!
Huh? Yeah! What? Yeah!
Yeah! Woo! 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 Oh! Woo! Ah! Hut! Ah!
Yeah!
Huh? Woo! Woo! Yeah! Huh? Huh? Woo! Woo! Huh?
Huh? Huh? Yeah!
Huh? Yeah!
There you go. I think the voices are fine. You don't really hear your character talking at all. It's mostly those sounds that you just heard there. And I don't think that they will ever really have a voiced main character. So it's good. It's enough. It's more than enough. Now, as we approach the end of this video, we're going to randomize a little bit. I'm going to show you how the randomization system works. It's pretty okay. it's a little unhinged. There's a little craziness that can happen with it, as you will see in just a moment. And it does randomize between male and female, as you can see. So it's not specifically male randomization. It would be kind of cool if you could lock it in to be in a body type 1 or body type 2. That would be cool, but it's kind of unimportant because you can just come here and you can change it. And then there you go, you got whatever you want. I like that they give this full random for the randomize, because it's a good way to look at everything. And I will just say here, if you wanted to look at the custom characters I made for like the thumbnail and stuff like that, my own creations, you can just look at the end of the video. You'll find them there. You will find them there. And that does bring us to the outro. I'm going to say, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I absolutely adore this game. I love it. I love what they've done with it. I love playing it. I really like the character creation system, and I think that the simple and satisfying approach that they went for does work wonderfully, and it suits the game as well. The game is full of life. The game is vibrant. The game is exciting, and the characters you can make here can be that as well. So it does work, but there is obviously also room for more. You know, you look at it and you think to yourself, yeah, man, this is really cool, but so and so and so. There are these things that they can improve on. And I really do think that they can improve a lot of stuff. I believe that for the male side of things, there's a little bit more that could be done. They could improve more stuff. And I mean, it's worth saying that, because I think that the males, their body types aren't quite as interesting, I want to say. They're a little bit more straightforward than the female, only a little bit. The hairstyles could definitely be improved upon a little bit, and the facial hair is a little lacking as well. But that's, again, stuff that I'm pretty sure they're going to address soon enough. So there you go. That's it. You can check back here soon for more. As I mentioned, just keep watching if you want to see the special creations. Give this one a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to find my links, if you want to throw money at me, you can find my coffee page linked below. If you would like to watch my Twitch streams, you can find a link for that below too. But there you go. We're done. Happy making those characters in Palworld, dudes. Happy that.